The science is clear. Sea level rise is a reality, and South Florida is already planning for the future. Rising sea levels are not just a Florida problem, but have recently attracted national attention. In the spring of 2012, Drs. Leonard Berry and Ben Strauss, along with 3 other expert witnesses, were asked by the U.S. Senate Committee on Energy and Natural Resources to testify before the full committee to discuss the impacts of sea level rise on domestic energy and water infrastructure.
The risks from sea level rise are imminent and serious. This is not a distant problem, only of concern for our children. Escalating floods from sea level rise will affect millions of Americans and threaten countless billions of dollars to buildings and infrastructure.
In the next few decades, planning for a future with sea level rise in South Florida will be critical.
What we're more concerned about is the projections for the future. And we're looking at projections locally where we're focusing not on 2100 because I think people's eyes glaze over at 2100. We're focusing on 2030 and 2060. And those 2 dates are well within the planning horizons of most of the agencies. Planning roads, planning airports, planning energy facilities. 2060 is tomorrow.
South Florida has a complex water management system. Without it, flood control would be impossible. Sea levels were lower when South Florida's flood control structures were constructed in the 1950s and 60s. With the few inches of sea level rise that we've seen in the past decades, several of these flood control structures are unable to discharge stormwater at their design capacity during high tides. How will these structures have to be altered in order to accommodate rising sea levels?
There are many solutions you could look for and implement. In fact, we have 2 of the structures we have provided additional capacity by building pump stations alongside these gravity water control structures, and they may not be the only solution. So for the ones that we have prioritized, we will be looking at it more detail to design and develop solutions and adaptation strategies to counter the sea level rise effect.
We've identified that there is a problem. Now we must consider the financial consequences.
Water has to flow, based on the law of physics, it flows in 2 directions. First direction, it always flows towards money first. You can chuckle about that if you'd like to, but the truth is it flows towards money. Secondly, water flows downhill. If there is no downhill, guess what happens to the groundwater landward? It's going up. So your house might be, in my case, it's 8 foot above sea level today. Before you know it, freshwater rise on the landward side is going to cause flooding.
We hope that you will join us at the Sea Level Rise Summit to take part in this critical step in planning for Florida's future.
This summit is an important event, but it's not standing on its own. But this is different because this time we're not focusing just on the physical problems that we see now and in the future. We're focusing on the people's impact.